This is a Futurefly 3mm tube, and this tube has a large enough diameter that you can easily pull a tube fly leader in this tube if you tie your tube fly, if you make your tube fly leader correctly. If you want instructions on how to make a pike tube fly leader, just click in the corner here where you will see this pop-up appearing, and that's a link to a video I've made on how to make tube fly rigs. Good. Well, first of all, I'm tying down some bucktail here, and this is done to give some bulk and give some stability and add some volume to the fly. I've tied it in so the tips are pointing forward. These we're gonna turn now using the wonderful magic. Oh, what the? It looked like the bucktail was moving there. I'm not gonna allow that, so I'm just gonna make sure it stays there. Applying some more pressure. Yeah. Don't move. So I'm going to turn this over. You can use your fingers, but you can also use a pen tool, kind of like a stump from an old ballpoint pen. Mine is from the Danish Chess Union for school children. I'm a teacher in my spare time, or how you would say it. Like so. Don't tie on top of the bucktail, just up to it, so it still has a lot of volume and has this corona, this halo effect. I'm going to take a bundle of the golden olive big fly fiber blend. A long, difficult word to say when you're in a hurry, but I managed. Woohoo! And this I'm gonna kind of like distribute out like so. Fold it around the tube, and then I'm gonna apply the thread here using some force. Like that. The golden olive color is a color I've been looking for a long time, and I really enjoyed that Hedron did this, because it's a very good color for pike. It can look like both a roach, but also smaller pikes, and in many waters pike actually feed a lot on their own species. So it's a nice color, and it really has the right tone. This two-tone stuff. Donald from Hedron is a very gifted, very talented man who makes some of the finest material for pike and musky flies I've ever seen. I can't get enough of the stuff. So thank you, Don. I've also played a small part in helping out with some of the colors, and I truly appreciate that. It's nice to be able to have an impact on the stuff that gets produced. So thank you also for that, Don, and thank you, Hedron, in general. So what I did was I took a bundle of another very cool Hedron material, the Flashaboom Magnum in gold, and what you can see here is this material is straight out of the package, so it kind of clings a bit together. This is nothing to worry about. It's actually just because it's slightly damp. So as soon as this has this water has evaporated, the flesh will be nice and translucent and not cling together at all, as you can see this fire tiger color here. So what I'm doing is pulling these so they are not completely uniform in length, whipping it in the air a bit, stretching it out so it's going to be bit easier for me to tie down. Looking at the length here, that's about what I would like. making sure it's gonna go all the way around the tube. The tube flies has a lot of advantages. First of all, when you're tying big flies, you can make the tubes longer, so that you can get your hooks further down into the wing. But also, when you're tying on tubes, you make your flies lighter. You don't have to make shanks are good for some things, but sometimes the tubes are better because they're lighter, so they're gonna make your flies easier to cast, which is a great thing. As you can see, here I've done the part of the flesh that was behind a bit longer than the part of the flesh that is out here in front, so I don't get completely the same length. This will help the fly become more tapered and look better out in the water. So turn the flesh over once more and tied it down. This also ensures that the flesh is fairly strong and is not gonna go anywhere, because it's tied down doubly. What I like for this fly is, and what I like for many flies is to add a bit of red, because a bit of red Flashabou holographic kind of gives I wouldn't say a bleeding effect. It looks, you could call it, I'm gonna call it a bleeding effect, but what it really does is it's gonna give some contrast, which will make the fly look good in the water, and also add some contrast. So here I'm gonna distribute this red holographic Flashabou as evenly as I can around the tube here. Oh, that looks pretty good. Yes, I knew it would. If I didn't mention it, I can't recall if I did, then you should look for one of my other videos here on the channel that is showing how to tie a tube fly leader, something that can be tricky to figure out on your own. So if you're having problems with how to attach your hooks to tubes like this, then scout out that video, and you will see a very good description on exactly how it's done. So the final thing I'm gonna add to this fly is some saddle hackles, and I've had some saddle hackles here that is a very cool color. This is actually bleached grizzly that is dyed olive afterwards. So these hackles are fairly nice and looks good on this pattern in particular, but well, on many other olive patterns as well, these would look great. Tying these down one by one to make sure they are where I want them to be. And I'm tying these down so the shiny side of the feathers is downwards, which means that the natural curve of the feather will make these feathers move outwards, swing outwards, which will add life to the fly when you're making stripping, when you stop stripping, and that is basically where the pike often will attack. It is when the fly just hangs there, vibrating and pulsating with all the Flashabou bouncing every which way, and these hackle feathers also pulsating and moving. That's when the pike hits. Bam! Yeah. Oh, today I was actually going to go pike fishing. This is one of the last days in the season before they are off limits for a month, and the weather is just crap outside. It's 12 meters per second, the wind, so the boat wouldn't be able to fish and stuff like that. So I'm just a bit annoyed. So I just sat down to the vise and made this instead. One of my very nice, very good fishing flies. So I hope you enjoyed it. I really would have loved to have gone fishing instead of making this, but well, hey, this is the second best thing. So gonna add some glue here just to make sure that these hackles are not going anywhere, like that. the hackles are are actually fairly strong. Some people ask me if these hackles are gonna be torn to pieces by the pikes and stuff like that, but I find that many times it's actually the hackles that last the longest. They are for some reason very durable. Okay, so far so good. I'm just gonna check. Oh, there is no super glue left. The last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply some ram's wool, as the head, and then we're gonna use a head. I think we're gonna do maybe a red or a gold one. I don't know if it's gonna be a gold or a red one. We'll see. But I'm taking some of this ram's wool, and to make sure that the ram's wool is the quality of the ram's wool is what I want it to be, just take kind of like a brush here. You could perhaps use your dog brush, but otherwise Future Fly makes a nice brush, a fairly cheap one, very well suitable for this this project here, for this purpose. And as you can see, the hairs now are much easier to get out, to get the right amount, and to get the right size of hairs that you want from your ram's wool. Just gonna, as you can see, nice and easy. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie this down, so it's gonna be distributed all the way around the hook as much as I can here, like that. And then I'm gonna make it turn forward, because when I'm gonna use the head to make all of this stand back. So I'm gonna cut a lot of this off here. Like that. Like that. Gonna make a whip finish. And everything that I've tied down so far is going to be covered by the head here. So the head is going to help protect everything you have used on this fly, and ensure that your fly will have a longer life. Oh yeah, you gotta love that. The red head is gonna add some nice contrast as well. You could use a gold head like I did on. Where did I throw the other one I made? This one has a gold head, but I like the red head as well. Like that. Gonna take my eyes here, some super glue, attach the eye, clamp it down. Rinse and repeat on the other side. Make sure to put the lid on your super glue every time. Super glue is a pain too. I'm just gonna take this out of the vise here, and I'm gonna, as you can see, this is a fairly long fly, a bit longer than what I originally intended. So I'm gonna trim it a bit here. Something like that. And there you have it. Pike perch wannabe golden olive beast, you could call it, or a bastard, whatever. Beast or bastards. Both flies, both type of flies are great. Of course, what you need to do is you need to cut off the tube around there, and then you can just use a lighter to make